Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And welcome everyone to our June 21st Zoom Satsang keynote presentation. Our first topic is Yoga Sutras. And we are starting our initial presentation of Chapter 3. So as a reminder, we're going through each chapter, looking at the material in detail as a presentation, and then going through it a second time as a review, sometimes asking questions and going through it at a faster pace. So this is the initial presentation of the first few verses of Chapter 3, and we're continuing to go through the Ashtanga, the 8 steps, right in the middle. Verse 1. Concentration is binding the mind to a place. Commentary. A fundamental practice leading to deep meditative states is the ability to hold the mind on a limited space, a single object. This is not in itself meditation, but a precursor to meditation. It is the training and discipline of the mind that will later allow meditation to naturally unfold. This binding is done using willpower over time and sometimes requires years to achieve. One exercise used by yogis is to have uninterrupted sequential thoughts about a simple object, such as 50 thoughts in a row on a flower or a black rock, without having a single unrelated thought intrude. Give it a try. And Gurudeva. This is not as hard as it seems. It does not require you to renounce the world. It only requires you to make an effort every day to concentrate the mind by first quieting the physical body and then the mind to free itself from all the thoughts of the day. Then hold the mind on one thing that is attractive to you for as long as you can. So that's a key there. It's easier to concentrate on an object that is attractive to you than an object in which you have no interest. When the mind wanders, pull it back until the light of understanding begins to appear. You will be amazed at the results in a very short time. True happiness will then be yours, released from the sub-superconscious state of your own mind. To elaborate on the last statement, I will say that to follow a line of thought, then into its depths through the use of reason takes time. When the depths are reached instantaneously through contacting the superconscious, all the essence is unfolded without the use of reason, space, or time. Yet it does not conflict with reason because the end result is the same in any case. All the time spent in reason requires the mind to open its superconscious resources through the subconscious for the final answer. Hence, training the mind in the arts of concentration and meditation is of great value in this instance. Verse 2. In that state, the uninterrupted flow of cognition is meditation. Commentary. In that state refers to concentration, dharana, defined in the previous sutra. Concentration and meditation are interwoven, not fully separate processes. It is more a matter of degree, where concentration permits subtle spaces or interruptions, and meditation is the accomplished flow of undistracted mental activity. In dharana, the flow of knowledge is compared to a succession of separate drops of water. In dhyana, the flow is continuous, like oil flowing from one vessel to another in a steady, unbroken stream. And Gurudeva's quote. This leads us then into our very next step, meditation. Meditation and concentration are practically the same thing, though meditation is simply a more intense state of concentration. A state of meditation is careful, close scrutiny of the individual elements and energies which make up that flower. You are scrutinizing the inner layers of the mind, of how a flower grows, how the seed is formed. You are observing it so keenly that you have forgotten that you are a physical body, that you are an emotional unit, that you are breathing. You are in the area of mind where that flower exists, and the bush that it came from, and the roots and the seed in all phases of manifestation, all at the same time. And you are seeing it as it actually is, in that area of the mind where the flower is that you first put awareness at, attention upon, then began to concentrate upon. Then you are meditating on the actual inner area of the mind where, in all stages of manifestation, that particular species actually is within the mind. Verse 3. When only the object shines forth and all sense of self is absent, that indeed is Samadhi. Commentary. When the flow of meditation is attained, there arises a state of union of the meditator and the object of his meditation. He has directed his awareness so perfectly toward the object that he and it have lost their differences and become one. He no longer is meditating, he is meditation. In this state, called Samadhi, the object's nature and being is revealed, and new knowledge never learned is acquired by direct superconscious perception. And Gurudeva. Out of meditation, we come into contemplation. Contemplation is concentrating so deeply in the inner areas of mind in which that flower and the species of it and the seed of it and all exist. We go deeper, deeper, deeper within into the energy and the life within the cells of the flower. And we find that the energy and the life within the cells of the flower is the same as the energy within us, and we are in contemplation upon energy itself. We see the energy as light. We might see the light within our head if we have a slight body consciousness. In a state of contemplation, we might not even be conscious of light itself, for you are only conscious of light if you have a slight consciousness of darkness. Otherwise, it is just your natural state. And you are in a deep reverie. In a state of contemplation, you are so intently alive you can't move. That's why you sit so quietly. This then leads to Samadhi, the very deepest Samadhi, where we almost, in a sense, go within one atom of the energy and move into the primal source of all. There's really nothing that you can say about it because you cannot cast that concept of the self or that depth of Samadhi. You cannot cast it out in words. You cannot throw it out in a concept because there are no areas of mind in which the self exists. And yet, but for the self, the mind, consciousness, would not exist. Verse 4. The integration of these three is Samyama. Commentary. Here Patanjali brings together concentration, meditation, and samadhi, decreeing that when these three are skillfully mastered, the state of Samyama, meditative union, is reached. And Gurudeva, here we are speaking about Samyama, thought, meaning, and knowledge combined as one. When combined as one, it lifts up the lid of the third eye. What is hidden behind the veil of ignorance is seen. Concentration is an art that, once attained, leads naturally into meditation, contemplation, and samadhi. The three-point concentration spoken of in this aphorism releases the whole of the external from its internal counterpart of the yogi's awareness. A deep yoga law is discussed here. Verse 5. From that mastery dawns the light of profound wisdom. Commentary. Prajna, mystical insight or wisdom's light, refers to wisdom obtained from being in the state of samadhi. It is distinct from knowledge gained by inference or from tradition. It is based on direct perception, known as sakshatkara in the yoga tradition. Here the sage decrees that such divine insight naturally awakens when the yogi has mastered the practices of Samyama. And Gurudeva, a new balance must be obtained in relating to the materialistic world, for the physical body still must be cared for to unfold further into the human destiny of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the realization of the self beyond the states of mind. Enlightened seers are turning inward to unravel solutions in building new models to bring forth new knowledge from inner realms to creatively meet man's basic needs and to bring through to the external spheres beauty and culture found only on inner planes, thus heralding the golden age of tomorrow and the illumined beings of the future who, through the use of their disciplined third eye and other faculties, can remain within the clear white light while working accurately and enthusiastically in the obvious dream world. Verse 6. Application of this comes in stages. Commentary. This refers back to Samyama, the integrated practice of Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi as defined in the previous sutras. Yoga does not come all at once, but like a long journey unfolds in stages. As Patanjali indicates here, referring to the application of Samyama. Each part of the journey must be followed and completed before the next reveals itself. Beginners must focus on the fundamentals, while advanced practitioners may engage in the more profound contemplative practices. There are complex changes happening as one pursues yoga, changes to the contents of external life, companions, changes in the mental and emotional diet, and deep changes to the structure of the nervous system. All of this happens over wide spans of time, not quickly. The wise yogi will be observant of the stages and know where he is on the progressive path. And Gurudeva, according to the agamic tradition, these four categories are the natural sequence of the soul's evolutionary process. Much like the development of a butterfly from egg to larva, from larva to caterpillar, from caterpillar to pupa, and then the final metamorphosis from pupa to butterfly. Every butterfly, without exception, will follow this pattern of development, and every soul will mature through charya to kriya, through kriya to yoga, and into dhyana. Charya or karma yoga may be simply defined as service. Kriya or bhakti yoga is devotion. Yoga or Raja Yoga is meditation. And dhyana is the state of wisdom reached toward the end of the path as a result of God realization and the subsequent enlivened kundalini and unfoldment of the chakras through the practices of yoga. The soul does not move quickly from one stage to another. It is a deliberate process, and within each stage there exist vast libraries of knowledge containing the sum of thousands of years of teachings, unraveling that particular experiential vista. Thank you, Gurudeva. Nice summary of Charya, Kriya, Yoga, and Dhyana. Second topic, Path to Shiva. Lesson 36. What is our heritage of gurus? How would you answer that question? Since the beginning of time, the power or Shakti of God Shiva has been carried forth by enlightened beings, Satgurus. That power is like a brilliant ray of spiritual energy. Many of these masters trained other great souls and passed on their power to them. As this happened again and again for thousands of years, many chains of gurus called Parampara were formed. Our lineage is called the Kailasa Parampara. It means the lineage from Shiva's Himalayan mountain, Kailas. It began thousands of years ago. The first master that history records is Maharishi Nandinatha. He passed his power to Rishi Tirumular, a sage who wrote a yoga text called Tirumandaram. After him, over 150 rishis carried the Shakti of Shiva forward, their names lost to history. In the 19th century, a nameless Himalayan rishi of this lineage traveled to Bengaluru in South India. There he passed the thread of power to Kadait Swami and sent him to Sri Lanka to strengthen Saivism there. Kadait Swami passed his power to sage Chelapa Swami. He in turn initiated Satguru Yoga Swami. And in 1949, Yoga Swami ordained our Gurudeva Sivaya Subramanya Swami. Gurudeva brought Saivism to the West and established Kauai-Adinam, his monastery, on the Hawaiian island of Kauai in 1970. 2001, he initiated Bodhinatha Velan Swami as his successor. Power from all previous gurus and the blessings of the devas that assist them abide in the current preceptor. Thank you very much. Om.